A Boise man is on his way to Nepal, preparing to climb to the highest point on Earth. Mount Everest is 29,000 feet tall, and the journey to the top can range wildly in price, starting at around $30,000 to $40,000 and going north of $150,000. It all depends on the guides you hire and the type of expedition you're looking for. Alexander Clark has been saving for this trip for 6 years. And he told me it all stemmed from a single conversation.
It started with a hike through the Grand Canyon. I had wanted to go do something challenging at a point in my life, and I met some people there that I later had breakfast with, and during that breakfast I was asked if I wanted to go climb Everest. My first reaction was, isn't Everest the mountain that people die on?
According to the Himalayan database, about 340 people have died on Mount Everest, with an average of around 4.4 deaths per year. Causes range from natural disasters to hypoxia to inexperience. But Clark is doing his absolute best to prepare, which includes spending the last month sleeping in a hypoxia tent.
I ran this line up to the ceiling, and then I didn't want to cut any holes in the wall, but I wanted to be able to close my doors. So my bedtime routine is typically turn this thing on and looking at my blood oxygen level. Well, SpO2 is on the left and my heart rate's on the right. And then if I've got to go to the bathroom,
Clark says getting used to his blood oxygen levels being around 90 during sleep helps him reduce the onset of high altitude afflictions.
Preparation is the #1 way to prevent any sort of onset of high altitude cerebral edema or high altitude pulmonary edema, which that are the sort of thing that forces you to turn back and can endanger your life.
At the top of Mount Everest, there's only about 1/3 of the oxygen available compared to sea level, making oxygen and oxygen masks a must. But they have to be able to fit.
A little bit of trimming to try to make an oxygen mask fit a little bit better. I didn't want to cut everything off. I know that would have been the best option, but I wanted to just make this a little bit more manageable, because if I get moisture underneath the mask and it freezes, I don't want my mustache to suffocate me, so.
Oxygen and acclimation are the main reasons Clark will have to stay at base camp for more than a month before he can even start his climb.
That's not a very common thing for most expeditions. Even other 8,000 meter peaks in the Himalaya don't typically require that amount of time spent there, because they're just not as tall. I mean, Everest is taller than every mountain in the world.
And getting ready for the ascent requires quite the packing list.
over here, electronics, which includes battery banks, solar panels, and some air purifiers, because the valley has not got the cleanest air.
Oh, okay.
They burn yak dung there because there's no wood. So it makes things pretty bad for you if you breathe all that in all the time.
Water is the toughest one because it's such a highly traveled valley, and the Nepalese people don't generally have a really good sense of sanitation. There tends to be a lot of dirty water, and it's one of those things that you have to be really careful. I'll be taking a lot of water purification tools, filters. I have chlorine tablets and iodine tablets just in case.
In the 10 years since he was asked if he wants to climb Mount Everest, Clark has been working on his fitness,
Nice.
acclimating to harsh weather conditions, doing lots of hiking,
Whoa! Slick ice right here.
camping,
Oh, there we go.
and more hiking.
And another beautiful view.
He says Marine Corps boot camp got him used to pushing himself, and while he enjoys a good challenge, this journey is so much more.
It was something with more of a sense of purpose. Going to hike a high altitude mountain, even though I'm with an expedition team, is a very personal endeavor in trying to find out what I can actually accomplish.
And even though it comes with risks, Clark wants to remind us that risks are a part of life.
That's the message I want people to get, is get out and try to live your life. Don't just stay inside of a risk-averse bubble. Take that risk on and do it carefully.
Clark flew out last night on April 6th, and his return flight is booked for June 6th. The success rate of climbers actually making it to the top of Everest is only about 60%. And he says if for whatever reason he doesn't make it, he's going to save up and try again. We'll be sure to follow up with him when he's back. Reporting in the studio, I'm Sophia Dumani.